I'm calling this one the Endless Superman Twizzle. So it's going to go from an apprentice thread through to a Superman with a dive down, back up into a masthead, and then rinse and repeat over and over and over and over until you don't have any skin left on your inner thighs. So with this one, to start, you want to be comfortable with your Superman, of course. Most people generally do a Jasmine to Superman to start, but an Apprentice to Superman is another variation of this one. Okay, so if the Apprentice to Superman is newer to you, it's best to start with it down on the floor. Okay, you're going to lead with your knee. So if you're in your Apprentice, you're here. The pole is touching your thigh. Make sure your outside hand is only about face height, just barely high enough for your knee to clear. You're going to bring that outside knee through, and as soon as your knee clears, forget about your foot. Don't worry about your foot coming through. As soon as your knee clears, picture you're trying to get your knee and your hip to touch the ground on the other side. See, the foot comes through. It follows. Okay, so there is definitely a trust issue with this for most in the beginning, as people want to go part way and they don't want to go the rest of the way. One little word of wisdom that I would give you on this one is don't watch your foot. As soon as you can watch and see that your knee clears, as soon as your knee clears, look away. Okay, because what tends to happen is when we look at it, we don't turn our hips away. But if you look away, we tend to start to turn in that direction. Remember, where the eyes go, the body wants to follow. So for this one, in theory, it stays roughly in place, but let's be honest, we slide a little bit sometimes. It happens. Okay, so I would recommend taking it maybe a climb up to start with this. Okay, you don't have to be super high, but just take it a little bit up. So we're going to take it up to a masthead. From the masthead, outside hand, roughly face height. Inside hand slides down, fingers down. Take it to your apprentice. From your apprentice, knee threads through, turn. You're in your Superman. Hand, thumb to your butt crack, grab. You're going to pike, crisscross, rehook that leg, pull it up, and you're in your masthead to rinse and repeat again. Okay, so a couple of moments, okay, those little scary ones, are that hip transition and the dive. Okay, the dive, there's all different ways to do it depending on what style you like, that kind of thing. Sometimes I like to keep my body really straight when I go through that Superman dive. The more you pike your body, think of folding at the hip to roughly a 90, quite often the smoother and the less scary it will be. Okay, so we're in our Superman. Your opposite hand is going to go thumb down. Think of trying to put your thumb in your butt crack. You're going to grab in a cup. Don't wrap your thumb because then it gets in the way. Just grab in a cup. That's going to give you the stability. Then as soon as you start to dive down, you're already leaning in the direction that you're going to go, which is towards that arm. Okay, because that's going to help you think about in a pull sit. In a pull sit, if we sit with our hips even square, we're going to slide. But if we tilt them, it helps the pole catch in our thighs. It just grabs a hold of that inner thigh skin and just holds on tight. Okay, so we want to do the same thing in our Superman. Is we don't want to just dive straight down, thigh gap or no thigh gap. You're not going to get the same grip. But if as soon as that top hand goes to relief, think of reaching towards the side, not straight down, it's going to help your thighs kind of catch through there. Okay, so those are all our pieces. Masthead, apprentice, Superman, dive through, hook the top knee, pull it back up, rinse and repeat, right? So, through. So, there is your endless Superman twizzle. So now I challenge you, how many of these can you do until you call it quits? Try it out. Start with one. And then how many until you can get dizzy or you lose all your inner thigh skin? Let me know how it goes.